Sure. Ross Morrison. I'm a senior investment manager for a global private equity fund of funds. So, if for chartered accountancy, your baseline salaries, I think I started on something like 12,000 pounds, and I was basically on that amount. Probably got to about 15,000 pounds after 3 years, because that's like a training period. So you're earning low, but you're paying for your qualification, and once you trip across that line of becoming a chartered accountant, say, you're more valuable to the firm, because they can rent you out for more. So consequently, your salary goes up. When I qualified, it was probably around the 25,000 to 30,000 pound mark. There is a disparity between working inside of London and outside of London, so you've got to figure that into things. Now, when I moved to London, I was probably on that 25,000 to 30,000 pound mark, and things gradually sort of incrementally built up as I progressed within the firm, and as I moved departments. I was probably, as an advisor, so you're talking about BCG, Accenture, McKinsey, as a consultant, and you would hope to be on, if after about 3-5 years of experience and a qualification, somewhere in the sort of 30 to 50 mark. I don't know how you would break that down individually. Then into direct investing and fund of funds, I think you're starting around that sort of 40-50 mark, depending on what level you go into. And as you progress up the scale, you could be hoping to earn from that sort of 40 mark to anywhere up to kind of the 100,000 mark. And then obviously there's different things that go on top of that. There's shares within the firm, there's bonuses, but that all comes down to the individual partnership itself and its specifics. Some firms pay a lot, some firms pay lower, but you get a better work-life balance, so you've got to work out what's important to you. I know investment bankers that are absolutely loaded and earn an absolute fortune, but they never see their friends and family. And I've got other guys who work in the city, earn a good wage and have a family and make things work that side. So it all comes down to the individual and what you really want. So I probably took a very convoluted route to end up where I am now. I didn't know a lot about universities, further education. Up in Scotland, I finished school, so I done my standard grades, which are the equivalent of English GCSEs. Decided to stay on for a couple of years and study my highers, so that's equivalent of A levels down in England. So 6 year less school, was doing well at biology, so not knowing what I really wanted to do with biology, I kind of stuck to my guns and decided to study marine biology at Newcastle University. Applied for 2 or 3 other ones, got into Newcastle, so pretty happy. Got down there, 3 year course, really enjoyed it, very different. It was a bit of a change from Scottish education, because they're not necessarily as seamlessly compatible, so I had to work pretty hard in my first year. Had a brilliant time at university. It was one of the best things I think I've done. Reason being is it took me out of my comfort zone, it plunked me into something that I wasn't comfortable with, and I don't know, I just kind of ended up, I discovered a great group of friends, great people in my course, began learning, really enjoyed it, and got to the end of university, decided that really enjoyed my course, marine biology, but I think as I neared sort of the end of my second year, beginning of my third year, I realised that I loved marine biology, but it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I think I recognised there were some key things that I did enjoy doing in my course, so sort of analysis, writing, getting on with people, but to be honest with you, I hadn't really worked out what I wanted to do. So realising that, I began to go to milk round presentations. Milk round presentations are just when representatives from companies come into colleges and universities to parade what their companies do. So I attended all of them, still didn't really know or get excited by a lot of them. However, I decided that I was probably going to go into business, and having studied marine biology, I didn't know a lot about business, so I decided, well, what's going to expose me to lots of different companies, lots of different sizes and lots of different industries, and if I throw myself into the deep end there, maybe I'll work out what it is I want to do. So the reason with that in mind, I decided to go down the chartered accountancy route. So I got a job as a trainee accountant. That was also good from my perspective, because I was fearful, not that I needed to have been, but at the time I was, that it might be more difficult for me to get a job having not had a degree in the profession that I was potentially going on to do. So chartered accountancy offered me an opportunity to do a qualification. So over 3 years I studied for my chartered accountancy. It wasn't easy. It is really hard. If you're thinking about becoming a chartered accountant, think seriously about it. It's definitely not romantic. It's a hard slog. It's 3 years. It's fantastic when you get to the end of it, and there's absolutely no doubt. Nobody can take it off you. You don't want anybody to take it off you, because it's a hard qualification to get. However, what it did do, because it was